It is said that this particular urban legend is one of the most well-known in all of Texas. There are a lot of folks in Texas who claim that this event took place in real life. The events that took place towards the end of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century sparked the creation of this legend. Clara Crane is referred to here as the Candy Woman. Clara Crane was born in Texas in 1891, and when she was only a teenager, she was kidnapped and forcibly married to an older man. In this video, we will discuss the legend of the Candy Lady. The video will be amazing, so stick to the end. Before starting the video, smash the like button and subscribe to never miss out on any of our videos. She even had a daughter whose name was Marcella. That child was only 5 years old when she died in an accident. She was sure that her husband was to blame for the tragedy that had befallen their child. Because of this, she decided to poison her husband by putting it in candy and giving it to him to eat. The poison took its toll on him, and he passed away. The news quickly disseminated across the country. After a few days had passed, she was taken into custody by the police and questioned by the judges in the courtroom. She admitted that she was responsible for the murder, but also claimed that she was unconscious at the time of the crime. During her stay at the asylum, she did not cause any disturbances for anyone. She was so willing to improve that she even participated in her treatment. However, one thing that shocked everyone was that she fashioned a doll out of her torn bedsheet and named the doll Marcella. Marcella was the name of her daughter. She even started chatting with the doll every once in a while. She even hummed a lullaby to the doll because she was convinced it was her daughter. Every doctor working at the asylum was aware of the events. Still, they did not consider the occurrences seriously because the patient did not cause any other disturbances. She was finally freed after serving her sentence for the entire 3 years. The asylum was compelled to remove the previous residents to make room for the new patients. Clara Crane was also released from the mental institution during that period. After she was set free, nobody knew what had happened to her, and nobody even found out that she had passed away. It is a conundrum even up until this day. This is the place where the urban legend of the Candy Woman first began. It is reported that 4 to 5 years passed following Clara Crane's release from the asylum before children from Texas began to vanish. The year after that, there were reports of the disappearance of approximately 8 children. Fear gripped the hearts and minds of those who lived there. During the inquiry into the children who lived in that region, the authorities were informed by the children that upon waking up each morning, a piece of candy would be waiting for them on the window ledge. They were under the impression that their parents had hidden it there to shock them. But after a few days, there was even a note attached to it that said, "From the Candy Woman." The residents of that region began conducting investigations into it. Then they recalled the story of the woman who killed her husband with candy to exact her vengeance for losing her child. They realized that Clara Crane might be responsible for all of these happenings. Following a period, a farmer was working his land when he came upon some teeth belonging to children. Fear gripped the entire community, so they reported the incident to the village sheriff. After agreeing to look into the situation, he vanished without a trace. The inhabitants of the village were already terrified before these events. The sheriff's body was discovered next to a lake about 2 weeks after it had been reported missing. They even discovered that he had been severely beaten to death before his body was thrown into the riverbank. During the autopsy, they located several pieces of candy in one of his pockets. The populace eventually arrived at the idea that the Candy Lady was also responsible for the sheriff's death. These events contributed to the legend's rise to prominence. Even in modern times, adults still pass on these tales to young people in those areas. In 1903, children began missing near her former farm for the first time. The children said candy would be left on their windows while sleeping. There would occasionally be notes written on the wrappers that surrounded the candy. After several children went missing, the town residents began to suspect that Clara, the lady who had previously poisoned candies to kill her husband, was responsible for the children's disappearances. A nearby farmer discovered teeth in his crops, and the local sheriff was found dead shortly after. He discovered that he had chocolates in his pockets and forks pushed into his eyes. No one knows what became of Clara Crane, but it is said that the Candy Lady still prowls the countryside, tempting young children with sweets before ripping out their teeth or stabbing them in the eyes with forks. This was all for today. I hope you liked the video. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Stay safe, and we will be right back soon with another video. For more information, subscribe and watch other videos from our channel.